Hey there, YouTube. This is my third time trying to record this specific video. The final entry in the Landmark Farewell Tour. We are currently just shy of 1 hour away from Landmark closing down. In terms of Landmark's day and night cycle, this is the final day. So maybe we'll get to watch the sunset. I mean, I assume we will. I might be wildly misjudging stuff, though. So this is the Qeynos City project. This is about the only real collaborative project I did with anybody in Landmark, where Landmark had several they had several contests, each based around a specific culture, from like EverQuest folklore, to design buildings for them, which at the time was for EverQuest Next. It didn't turn out that way. And a specific guy, his in-game name is Bordeaux. He's got a Twitch channel and a YouTube channel called Bryce Loves Gaming. He had this idea to set up cities with as much of the contest entries and as much of the stuff from template swaps from these cultures as possible. I thought that sounded awesome, so I sort of jumped on the Qeynos one of those, and mostly to fill up my spot in Landmark with buildings, because the Qeynos style was always pretty close to what I, personally did, just kind of when I was futzing about. Not a one-to-one thing, of course, but, pretty close, pretty close. This building here, this blacksmith shop, was one of the contest winners, done by a guy named Vito, Vedo. I don't think he plays Landmark anymore, but that was his, as are these market carts. This is one of like 5 claims I set up to do this. I had the claims, I figured why not. So this one I set up as kind of a merchant district. A lot of the filler buildings are just things I found from Lady K's template swaps. If you've played Landmark, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't, then I don't know, maybe I'll leave that a mystery. A sexy mystery. That really sweet greenhouse was another thing from Lady K swaps. That's been floating around template swaps for, a good portion of Landmark. I don't even know who originally did it. But yeah, this was largely unfinished because I got to the point I, had to stop playing Landmark. And here I am again at the end of days. At the end of all things. Not to get all Lord of the Rings on you. This was another contest winner. Let me see if I can bring up a name for that one in the templates I got. Let's see, that one was made by Ray, R-A-E-H, however that'd be pronounced. That's kind of best guess on my part. But yeah, it's pretty nice setup just in that sort of valley down here. There was only so much I could do when you can only put your claims so close together. So it is just kind of a couple little scattered things apart from each other. And then this was just a couple really nice, buildings on the seaside. It was going to be a port, but again, time. This was one of the bigger, nicer Qeynos buildings in Lady K swaps. I'm sure somebody initially made it, but at this point I have no idea who. If that lucky, fortunate soul happens to find their way onto this video, mention in the comments. I am genuinely curious. I mean, I don't know what we do with that information at this point, but credit where credit is due and all that. Man, I'm really hoping that, there'll be another building game that I get into, and there will just like be this shared experience of you run into somebody and they're like, oh yeah, I played Landmark. And there'll just be like all this baggage to that. Not baggage is negative, but like, talk with each other. Man, remember exploding mushrooms and shit like that? Good times. Man, remember wisps? Remember when wisps were a thing? Yeah, isn't that a bummer? Now this this is the one I've put the most time and effort and love into. This is the one that's turned out the best. A lot of buildings in this one, a lot of sweeping staircases, and it's right at that edge of deciduous forest to alpine biome. Yeah, a lot of the painting on this was from back when terrain blending worked differently than it did now. Another really nice building. Yeah, this is the third time recording this video. On the previous one, I looked in these buildings for the first time on a lot of them, and it was just, man, I need to get that out of the way. That is distracting at best. Wow, Bordeaux wasn't a blockhead? Oh, glad he finally got that, I guess. Man, what were you doing? Come on, man. Check it out. It's got a gazebo. Bitches love gazebos. This flag was done by a guy I started getting some stuff from at the very end. A guy named Risen Strike had a really nice Qeynos build that he was like, oh yeah, go ahead and use any doodads you feel like. This well is another one of his things. So there's a lot of little details that got added to this because of him. And this was initially going to be, a sort of party area for the landmark farewell celebration, which, I mean, they had always planned to hold that at the sunset wall, which, at no point was I like, oh, hey, guys, you want to come over to my claim and see something I built? Because that would have felt way, way narcissistic, and I was just not going to be that guy, But yeah. There's even like pathways between the houses. This would have been cool. This is kind of fun to run around. Got not all the snowflake falling emitters I wanted to get set up, but I got quite a few of them, particularly in this spot. This is what I got the most detail put into. And I've actually got like a 10-minute recording of the sunset in this exact spot where you can just watch the snowfall and the leaves fall off of these trees. I don't know if anybody actually wants to watch that for 10 minutes, but it's pretty chill. If somebody is just... I don't know about anybody else, but I'm going to miss this game and I'm going to miss it hard. So down the road, if somebody's just like, man, I want some of that authentic landmark flavor, they can just watch that for 10 minutes, I guess. Now this is my spot, Altogether, this whole area, it's mine. And I dare anybody to tell me otherwise. So I've moved claims, like, all around in this area over the, and it's actually years at this point, over the years. So this was where I put, like, the swanky, high-end neighborhood. Or it would have been, but, things didn't turn out that way. There was one person, and God help me, I cannot remember their name. So again, please, by all means, identify yourself in the forums. They had built this really nice building, and they were like, so yeah, you're curating this, go ahead and put it wherever you want, but I would like build permissions to finish touching it up. And I was like, absolutely. Because I totally respect wanting to finish something you started in Landmark. Not that I ever did that myself. God, this series of videos has been nothing if not, hey, look at this thing I didn't finish. But yeah, they got the build permissions and were able to put some more work into this. And this is another really nice house. I mean, some of these, this is a very sloped area. So it's even, with how they set things up to account for that, it's, I have a cold. Not crying. How dare you? But yeah, this is another, and this is kind of more slightly iconically Lady K's building, apparently. This was another thing I got from one of Lady K's template swaps, but when the premier Landmark Twitch streamers stopped by, they were like, what, is this guy one of Lady K's salts using her building? And it's like, no, it was in a template swap next to all the other stuff people let you copy and build elsewhere. So I was a little butthurt over that, but you know, butthurt in the most polite way. It's how I do. This fountain is another thing made by Risen Strike. Good stuff. So that is, for the most part, what there is to, at least what I made of the Qeynos City project. The man. I don't know if I have a great ending to this video. I mean, it is the last entry in the Landmark Farewell Tour as it is, but there will be another one describing my last moments in Landmark. That'll be fun. That'll be a real upper. That'll be a good watch. And then after that, I will probably do one more Landmark video just to beat that dead horse, to offer my thoughts on what Landmark needed. I've talked all this time about the potential of what it could be, and it's like, no, now I need to actually follow that up where, okay, look, this is what, if this happened, this is what would have made Landmark, not just great, but marketably great and sustainable. But yeah, there'll be a video about that, and anybody who's, working on a building game, by all means, take anything in there to heart. So welcome to the third to last Landmark video I'll probably ever do. I'll see you guys in the next ones.